Good morning, motor cars. It is Friday, the 23rd. Anniversaries this weekend. Over in Toyota Sales, we have Pat Marson. And then in Toyota Shop, we have Mike Bell. So happy anniversary to both of you. Birthdays this weekend. On the 23rd, we have Russell Cyphers, who is a Brunswick car wash attendant. And on the 25th, we have DeAndre Gibson, who is a Toyota valet. So happy birthday to both of you. Word of the day. Perfection is a vanishing point. We'll never get there, but we can get closer. It's like having an engine. Once you've got your engine built, it's all about torquing it up and tweaking it from there on. Getting closer means looking to see who is better at something than you are and learning to do it their way. I have some cool news for you. The managers actually sat down with Jan in HR and took a look at our new payroll app, which is going to be called Paylocity, and it'll be replacing Complete, and it's pretty cool. It's rolling out the beginning of, actually the end of April, the week of April 20th, by department, because they have to move all the information over from Complete over to Paylocity. But basically it'll allow you to clock in and out from your phone. You'll be able to track your 401k. It'll have automated check stubs, so you can go on your phone and look at your check stubs. You can submit your time off. It tells managers when you're getting close to doing overtime and stuff, so it keeps us out of trouble. So it looks really, really cool from what we've seen so far. And if you want to look at it too, they actually have a demo on their website. It's paylocity.com, and that's spelled Paylocity. So Paylocity. Let's see. One of the other things I wanted to talk about a little bit is Vladimir Putin. Some of the folks listening today may be young enough that you don't remember Putin's history, or maybe you never knew much about it at all. He's been kind of a shadowy figure in Russian politics for about the last 30 years or so, and he's got kind of an interesting history. He was born in 1952, so he's 66 years old and divorced. His ex-wife describes him as a vampire. He grew up in a shared apartment with two other families in St. Petersburg, or what's now St. Petersburg. He served in the KGB, which is kind of like our CIA, and he eventually became its leader. His original job in the KGB was to stalk any foreigners in St. Petersburg and report back who they met with, where they went, what they talked about, and whether or not they were saying anything against Russia. When he was in college, he reported fellow students who weren't loyal to the government, so that they could basically be rounded up and re-educated. Later, he followed Russian diplomats around East Germany to make sure that they were loyal too and weren't planning to defect. In the late 1990s, he rose to power in the Kremlin and became infamous for his use of torture, disappearances, and poisoning of enemies of the state, including Russian citizens that showed any signs of being disloyal. He was kind of famous for making people disappear. In 1999, President Yeltsin of Russia appointed him prime minister, which is something like our vice president. When Yeltsin stepped down amidst a scandal, Putin took over and pardoned Yeltsin. He ran for president of Russia in 2001 and has effectively run the Russian government either directly or through proxy ever since, despite widespread reports of voter fraud in 2012. You may notice that in all of his interviews, Putin only speaks Russian, but he does speak fluent English. He does that partly to give himself time to shape his replies and also as a power play, forcing other people to either use his language or wait for him to frame his replies in Russian. He has every Russian business executive followed and taps all of their communications. If they say anything against him, he has them arrested for made-up crimes. They also pay a portion of all their company's earnings over to him, and there's a rumor going around amongst the intelligence community that he's actually the wealthiest person on the planet, not Jeff Bezos of Amazon. If they try to run against him or defect, he has them banned from the country or killed. In 2016, he ordered the KGB via its hacking arm to disrupt the American presidential election. Email servers at the Democratic National Committee were hacked, as well as voting systems in 21 different states. But there's so far not any evidence to suggest that they physically changed any votes that time. In 2017, he kicked out 755 American diplomats. His stated goal is returning Russia to the power that it had up until the 1980s and regaining all of what used to be the USSR's territory. With that in mind, he has illegally annexed Crimea and is attempting to do the same thing in Ukraine. So there's your history lesson and a little bit of a geopolitical lesson for you. Have a good weekend, motor cars.